Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here on the island of New Providence and indeed the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I'm also a member of the Catholic Christian community. I want to say, praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. The Bahamas, by and large, notwithstanding some of the devastation, we have been saved from the full brunt of Hurricane Irma. I have noted that our Christian faith is being challenged. There are many unsaved people who are criticizing the fact that the believers prayed to Jehovah God to spare the Bahama Islands. And I was shocked to read in the Nassau Guardian, that sinful, wicked newspaper, that it was not prayer that saved us. But notwithstanding the evil intention of the Nassau Guardian to subvert our belief in God, I shall continue to maintain my faith and to pray and to give God thanks, because by and large, our nation could have been devastated. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, I want my producer to know that my timing clock is off. But we're going to pray over it. And then, of course, I'm going to leave the hurricane alone and look at the politics, because by and large, there is major crisis taking place in the FNM. I've told you, from the FNM got elected, that I was very concerned over the fact that the Prime Minister failed to introduce a drug policy demanding that all FNM members of Parliament should take a drug test. And by extension, the whole of the Parliament should do a drug test, because there have been many parties that the FNM has been having, and many people have been misled. You could be invited to a party and told to bring the ice, while others will bring the Coke, and not necessary Coke soda. So we're going to look at ice and Coke and how the FNM has to set a drug-free policy within the government of the Bahamas. There's so many things on my mind that I want to discuss. We're going to look at some of the bad behavior in the storm. But by and large, I want to thank God that notwithstanding the ravaging of some of our family islands, God has still been good to us. And then we'll look at the Prime Minister's evacuation of some of the islands. And I will also tell you that while Minas has evacuated people nationally, former Prime Minister Perry Christie did it internationally, only to set their perspective And then I'm going to question whether or not Halston Moultrie is saved. I'm going to tell you what he did to his constituents in the height of the storm approaching.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, I've been in contact with him. Who knows? He might be somewhere doing some work in the aftermath of the storm, but he has promised me that he will show up in studio. I thank God that notwithstanding the devastation of Hurricane Irma, God has been good to the Bahamian people. Yes, we've had some major devastations in our family islands, but up to this point, I've heard no reports of any hurricane-related deaths. And I think that is something that we should give God thanks for. And notwithstanding the article in the Nassau Guardian, in fact, the Nassau Guardian's editorial, it is an attempt by the workers of the devil to challenge our faith. But in a democracy, that is the price we pay in a free society. But we should not allow what they think to punch hole in our faith. I believe that thousands of people around the world prayed and asked God for the same thing. And God is a God of justice. And I'm not going to question how God acts, but I do believe that He's answered many prayers around the world, and particularly here in the Bahamas. And I shall continue to maintain my faith and trust in Jehovah God, notwithstanding the forces of evil which has sought to challenge our Christian belief. A look at today's Guardian. I'm just going to read a small piece, and today is Monday, the 11th of September. In the great United States, notwithstanding their challenges with two sets of hurricanes, the people of America remember 9/11 in 2001, the terrorist attack on New York, in which about 4,000 U.S. citizens were killed. And so we salute the Americans on their 16th anniversary as they remind the world of the terrorist attack that was committed on the United States. The Nassau Guardian, I shall read just a small piece of their editorial to show you how the devil is at work. Prayer did not save the Bahamas from Irma. Intervention from the divine did not turn the storm away. The Bahamas was lucky. That's no more. I need not say anymore. They're entitled to their belief. But those of us who prayed and who trust in God, we believe that God spared us. And notwithstanding what they say, we shall ignore it, and we shall continue to give God thanks for His mercies. So the hurricane has passed. And those of you who have been following the news, you would have gotten the reports of the various damages across the Bahamas. So we are aware of what has taken place. But there are some misconceptions which is being spread by F&M propagandists that I would wish to set in proper perspective. It is true that the F&M government, led by Prime Minister Minnis, has evacuated hundreds of citizens from the southern part of the island. I'm not going to guess his strategy, because anything a government does which is designed to save lives I support. But I want to point out to the FNM, let us not forget the record of former Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie. We had a hurricane. I don't remember the name of the hurricane, in which Bahamian citizens were trapped in Jamaica. Bahamian students attending the University of the West Indies. And what did Christie do? Christie mobilized an international evacuation in which the national airline, Bahamas Air, was sent to Jamaica and perhaps another Caribbean island and brought our students back. That is not to take away from Dr. Minnis' action locally, but let the record reflect that while we can argue that what Minnis did was noble, we can also point out equally that former Prime Minister Christie did a similar thing. Minnis acted nationally and Christie internationally. Just want to put it in perspective, and it's not designed to take away anything from Minnis. The next point that I want to point out, tomorrow, we now know that public schools will be open on Tuesday the 12th. So get ready for school. And today, the University of the Bahamas opened, as I saw hundreds of university students this morning. So those two events are progress, and it means that the country is returning to normality. So that is powerful. And the government offices ought to have opened as well. So that is positive, because we need to get the political system and the infrastructure of the state moving. There is another observation that I want to deal with, is I've received reports, and today I propose to write Sidney Shea. Sidney Shea is one of the owners of one of the John Shea, and so in fairness to him, I shall write him a letter, because in the district of New Providence appeared before me a Negro man who made certain allegations. And since I know Sidney Shea from he was a youth and I was a youth, I think in fairness to him, I shall write him a letter with a view that he would reply to what I have to say. And depending on the circumstances, then I shall go public. I want to say to the government, where there's evidence of overpricing, we ought to prosecute vigorously, because there were too many reports of businessmen being dishonest. They were like gangsters without a gun. They were like robbers without a gun. And we cannot encourage that in our society, particularly during a crisis where many of our people become vulnerable to these pigs. That's the best description I can give them. Pigs, hogs, where you deliberately go up on your price at a point when people are depressed, frustrated, and paranoid over the storm. It needs to be condemned. And I would hope that where the evidence exists, that we would move vigorously to handcuff them behind their backs and lead them to the nearest court. I thought I'll point that out to you. There is another thing taking place here. And the question that I would want to ask the constituents, did you hear from your MP? Did you call your MP? Did your MP make any contact with you? Because I am very concerned of reports coming out of the great constituency of Nassau Village. I'm shocked, and I want to believe that it is not true, where a Negro mother has alleged that she called the office of the Honorable Speaker, his constituency office, And I'm very disappointed in hearing the reports that I've received from her. And she is extremely upset because as the storm approached, she and many other citizens needed basic assistance, food supply, little corned beef, little tuna, little sardine, little bread. And Halston Moultrie is the Speaker of the Honorable House of Assembly. And according to the lady, when she called the constituency office, Pastor Kim Smith Moultrie, the wife of the Member of Parliament, answered, and they put a petition to her, telling her what their needs were as the storm approached, and how Pastor Kim Smith Moultrie, the wife of the Honorable Speaker, told them that there was nothing she could do. They had to call the following day and speak with the Speaker Secretary. The voters left with the impression that Mother Moultrie, who was the pastor of one of the churches, was very annoyed that the constituents had made this petition for food assistance. And the constituents have said that they are convinced that she does not want them to petition their Member of Parliament. And Halston has to recognize that in public life, if your wife is opposed to you being involved in public life, there's only two choices. You either whip the wife in line, or you accept her whip and you fall in line. But for Halston to subject the people of Nassau Village to this level of indignity is deplorable. It's absolutely deplorable. And I have said to a number of them, listen, get over it, because you had an opportunity to hold on to Brother Smith, the Deputy Speaker. You didn't know Halston Moultrie, nor did you know his wife, because you never identified them with any public services. But you rejected Dion Smith. Now this is what you end up with. Halston, they may want to give you a little corned beef, little tuna, little sardine. My God, Halston, you're rich. You're rich. You're the Speaker. You mussy. Could have given the people of Nassau Village, because they complained to me, and I'm hurt by it. And I've told them, get over it. But if they cannot get over it, I'm prepared to organize a march to your house, because you should not hide from the people. And you should educate your wife and point out to her that when the people of Nassau Village call you, that's your bread and butter. That's how you make your hustle as a Member of Parliament. And it ain't right. Okay? And when they contacted Halston's secretary says she ain't know nothing but no social assistant. They better go to social service. And when they go into social service, as recent as early this morning, the woman called me. She says she can't wait to get to social service. I said, well, when you get to social service, call me back. And when she got to social service, she said, Monica, social service say they can't do nothing for me or nobody else. And something is wrong with that, where our people are forced to be begging. If Halston is a saved man, and if his wife, a saved woman, a pastor of a church, my God, what is couple tens a tuna? My Member of Parliament is Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and I'm prepared to gamble that if I call Shannon Dawn and tell Shannon Dawn Cartwright that I need 2 or 3 more tins of sardine, Shannon Dawn would give it to me. I don't think he would subject me to this level of indignity. I don't think his wife would. And that's the difference. I believe that if I was to say to Shannon Dawn, make me some tuna salad, he would do it. He just happens to be a decent human being. And the people in Nassau Village are upset. My God, Halston, You mean to tell me a big-time member of the Honorable House of Assembly, the Speaker, and you couldn't buy a couple tin of corned beef, some sardine for the poor people? Something ain't right with that. You hear me? But I listened to the woman because my heart is tender, and it is my job to listen. But as I listened to her, I wanted to say to her, "Fox your MP!" But then she spoke to Halston, and she said, Halston say, the most he's prepared to do is to come around with his cutlass and slash some of the little bushes in them. But Halston, the people, them hungry. You hear me? What you going to Nassau Village for? You know the socio-economic level of the people. Like me. We from Bain Town. We is the grassroots. We need social assistance. And we ain't asking for much, you know. Couple of tuna in the hurricane. Couple of corned beef. Some sardine. A little bit of grits. Piece of onion. And you couldn't do it? You couldn't do it, Halston? It's wrong. And the woman's heart is hurt because she spoke to me about 3 times this morning. 3 times. 3 times. And it ain't right. But who do you believe? The people of Nassau Village, y'all didn't know Halston Moultrie? He showed up one day. And the next thing he said to y'all was, it was the people's time. Now he ain't want to share none of that corned beef or sardine. Halston, I'm upset with you. And Mother Kim, come man. You from Grandstone. Huh? You from Grandstone. You know what it is to be poor. My God, you and Halston move out east now in a big time house. And y'all ain't got time for the people. Kim, I'm disappointed in you, you know. I'm disappointed in you. Because the Smiths, they're good people. Ezekiel, I can't remember what Kim corner name. You know through the corner where the lumberman them got the big place? That corner there. But it ain't right. And they complain. They couldn't believe it. And they couldn't believe when I said, I don't understand it. Because the Honorable Speaker is a saved man. Halston Moultrie is a saved man. And Mother Kim is the pastor of a church. You couldn't buy a couple of tuna, a couple of corned beef, a little bit of grits, give it to the people in the Nassau Village. We have pride, you know. And when we beg, we're not begging for the sake of begging, you know. We are begging because these are hard economic times. The Speaker should hang his head, shame, on him and Mother Kim. It isn't too late to repent and to help the poor people. Because what time is that? It's the people's time. And the people are catching hell. This is Freedom March. I'll curse them out when I return. Because the people of Nassau...
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm now joined in studio by my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, the storm is over.
The storm is over, Mr. Monker.
And now I can see clearly.
We have dodged a serious bullet.
Wow.
For the most part. Those of us, of course, who would be in the northwest Bahamas and central. But, of course, you know, the southeast Bahamas has had some issues.
Yes. And we know that in Freeport, it has been horrible. In Freeport, in West End, there's been a series of
tornadoes.
But notwithstanding that, the spirit of the people of Freeport seems to be resilient.
Okay.
And it is my hope that with 5 F&M members of Parliament and a member of Parliament who has a record of fixing roof. Do you all know that in the election, Michael Pentard, he was like the building contractor. He was just doing roof. So I'm certain that those of you who live in his constituency, if he was eager to fix your roof when he was seeking public office, I'm certain he will be eager to repair them now that he has public office. My spiritual advisor on my mind is a Negro woman who has complained bitterly over how she petitioned the wife of Nassau Village Member of Parliament and the Honorable Speaker of the Honorable House of Assembly, Halston Moultrie. Halston's wife is one of the, a minister of one of the local churches, Pastor Kim Smith Moultrie, and the people complained that she was not kind, that they left with the impression that she did not want two things to happen. One, she didn't want to be disturbed by them, and two, she wanted them to leave her husband alone, even though they have caused him to be elevated to perhaps one of the highest political jobs in the country, Speaker.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, and the woman.
What's the complaint, Mr. Munker?
Well, leading up to the storm, they needed food supplies. They needed little sardine, little tuna, little corned beef, right? And I could sympathize because I needed little tuna. But thank God, my first cousin, Derek Davis in Fox Hill, he got a little shop.
Right.
And when I show up,
well, you could have gotten those
he got
things.
some children them. When I reach there and say, cuz here, they pack my little bag. We pack my little bag and they say, now,
you're very fortunate.
don't let daddy see. But we pack your bag. And I turned to them children and I said, listen, put little things in the bag for me. They pack my little bag. You see my point?
Yeah, I understand that.
But this woman, she approached, she called the constituency office. And Mrs. Halston Moultrie answered the phone. And they were so happy. And when they petitioned her for little food items, she said, she ain't know nothing but that. You better call back when the secretary there. So they called the secretary, and the secretary told them, she ain't know nothing but that. You better go to social service.
I was wondering about that. Isn't that something for social services to deal with?
If you are the member of parliament, right?
Right.
You know a hurricane is coming. You know what kind of constituency Nassau Village is. It's poor people. Poor people who wanted a change. Poor people that Halston Moultrie told the time. He said to them, it is the people's time. My God. A man to tell me a big-time lawyer and the big-time speaker and the wife got a whole church. They couldn't put aside little cases of tuna, little corned beef, little sardine, couple onions, small package of grits. So when the poor people come, you give it to them. Because if I show up to my MP office and I ask the MP, you know who's my member of parliament, right?
Yeah, that's Shenandoah.
If I show up at Shenandoah's office and I said, tell Mr. Cartwright, Moncode here. And I say to him, listen, I need 2 more sardine to make up. He knows that I would never show up for little sardine, little onion, little grits, unless I need it.
But were there any member of parliament that was actually, dealing with hurricanes?
Of course, there were many members of parliament who knew, I don't want to call any names, who knew that the poor will be with us. It's the hurricane, man. It's the hurricane.
All right.
All right?
Yeah, I don't know if you would have this information, but let me ask you a question. Each member of parliament for his constituency is allotted
$100,000.
Wow.
Under the PLP. I don't know what Minist's giving them now because Minister's been doing a lot of cutback. $100,000.
All right, and that $100,000 is for the year, for the year?
I think it's for the year,
right.
And it is to be used.
Yeah, what's it used for?
Well, the member of parliament will make a judgment call.
Oh.
He might decide he's going to do little work in the constituency.
Yeah, park,
right.
so on and so forth.
Or he could decide he's going to buy bread basket items.
He can do that?
Of course. I knew a member of parliament who, I'm trying to figure out if it was a storm. There was a storm last year, October. And he came up with $50 vouchers. Okay? And he told people where to come. They got their little $50 vouchers, and they were able to go to a food store that was designated and spend the money.
Okay.
All right? So Halston Moultrie, as Speaker, has access to $100,000. And for a woman who shows up with children, with challenges, my God, Halston ain't got no heart. I am prepared to say that the Speaker has a hard heart.
So how far did your investigations go?
It's gone straight to the top. Don't forget who I am, you know. The people, them, spokesman.
Okay.
All right?
And you're satisfied?
I'm satisfied. Listen to what the woman said. Approach the MP up to Sunday evening. Okay? And she's saying the poor still being treated badly. And if they continue to do what they're doing and don't stick to their promises, they will be voted out in 5 years. I'm quoting the woman. All right? And certainly this is a woman who's gone after the shadow. The Speaker is the shadow. She left the substance, Dion Smith. All right? Now she tells me that she is disappointed with the PLP, and now she is disappointed with the F&M. That is what she's told me. All right? And I felt bad. As she said to me, my God, Mr. Monker, all I asked for is a couple of sardines and the way they treated them. Man, Halston, man, you can do better than that. You and the wife can need to get together and pray. And you have to tell the wife. I told my wife when I met her, I said, now listen here, I love politics. You see all them people in Black Village? I love them. All of them. I said, cross the road there, I love them. You think you could love them? Think about it. She said, yeah, she could love them. I said, you only say that because you want me. She said, no, no, no. They're my people. Yeah, I want you. I could love them. And that's it. You tell the woman, what the heck you running for the House of Assembly for if you know your wife ain't want it? Huh? That's what it is.
I don't know if you won't go that far.
I only going by what the woman say to me. All right?
Anyway.
They're upset. And the only thing I can offer them is a placard. I said, listen, I'm prepared to offer you a placard and march to the Speaker. Because he could have given the woman a couple of sardines. What is a couple of sardines for a man like him who making over $70,000 a year and has access to $100,000, which is designated for every member of parliament?
Let me ask you a question. In all honesty now, you're not using this as an opportunity to attack the Speaker of the House, eh?
This is an opportunity to attack him.
Yeah, but I don't know if you...
How then do we get Halston and the wife to repent?
You know something?
My spiritual advisor, when the poor show up.
Yes, I understand.
You know what it is to be victimized.
Yes.
The F&M victimized you.
I
you came on the TV with me, and they victimized you.
Yeah, I understand.
Huh? You know what it is.
My thing is that for that woman, and I would have thought she would have had a second option, I would have gone to a church. The church.
She has a church.
Yes.
She's a pastor. Listen to the. I took the note. The wife answered the telephone at the constituency office. But if you can answer the phone at the constituency office, what do you think people is called for? Huh? And in the midst of the storm.
Yeah.
I know what member of parliament. I don't want to call the member of parliament name yet. I need to get mad to call but the member of parliament, he got little onion, little potato, little grits, right? Little tuna, little corned beef. Right there. Because what are the facts? These are hard economic times.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And I promised the woman, I'm going to curse them out. And then, when I discover it was Sister Kim Smith off of Blue Hill Road, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but why not make an appeal rather than curse, man?
When I'm making an appeal for him to repent.
I mean, I don't know if cursing is going to resolve the issue.
Okay? Oh, boy.
Anyhow.
And then to tell them, call the hotline. The children them hungry. And instead of they give the people them the little thing, they say call the hotline, and nobody answer the hotline. Anyway, that's what you get. I told y'all, I said, listen, if you can't vote PLP, come with me on the beach. Y'all listen to the half of them say, I crazy. Now you see, as simple as $1.09 tuna, the speaker wouldn't give you all none. Anyway, oh boy, I'm so concerned. Now, my spiritual advice, I don't know if you've heard that some time ago I called on the Prime Minister to have a drug test of members of Parliament in the F&M. Now we are hearing reports that at least one F&M had to be checked into a rehabilitation, rehab, drug. Now, let me confess, my father drank lots of rum. So what kind of man I am? My father drank lots of rum. And therefore, my father became an alcoholic. He was a policeman, very good policeman. But what was his challenge? Rum. Lots of island rum. Drink rum. One of the problems in our political leadership, you say I'm 60, all right? I could give you many examples where I saw minister's car many years ago showed up at the drug man place. I can only conclude that if a minister car show up to buy a little bit of herbs, it must be for the minister, because nobody would dare take my car to go to buy grass. One young man was about to call the police, and I said to him, God forgive me, I may have sinned. I said, no, don't call the police. It will be too disgraceful if the minister get locked up. You hear what I tell you? It's a true story. Now, based on that, I said to the F&M, listen, let us have a drug test. Let every F&M in the cabinet and outside the cabinet take a drug test. Little drugs for herbs, so we can see if you smoke herb. Little coke, because some people might be tooting coke. There was a party that the F&M had, and the fella cracked me. He said, listen, some bought the ice and some bought the coke. So I said, well, ain't nothing wrong with that. He said, I mean coke soda. You hear me? Some bought the ice and some bought the coke. We have to set an example for the young people. And I'm prepared to join my party in taking a drug test. All right? I'm prepared to do that. What kind of country will be running? Where we have gossips. Because ministers not set. Now I'll tell you, one man I know will pass the test with flying color. Dr. Minnis. Dr. Minnis don't drink rum. Don't drink rum, Minnis. He will pass it. I'm certain there will be thousands of F&M who would pass it as well. And that is what is needed. Because we are living in a period now where our political leadership must set example. And Minnis should adopt a policy that Branwell McCartney used. When we ran for the DNA, Branwell asked each of us questions. He wanted to know, did you smoke little herbs? He wanted to. He wanted to know, did you ever smoke grass? He wanted to know, did you ever snort little coke or toot little coke? I was so shocked when I appeared before that committee and they asked me those questions. You ever do little coke? I said, no, I've never done little coke. Have you bun yet? I said, no, I ain't smoked grass yet. No. Then they began to ask me my opinion on certain sinful issue. And I was so embarrassed because, you know, I must have been about 54 or 56 when they asked me those questions. And when I look at who was asking me the question, so I told them, no, I don't believe in that because it is sinful. And I answered them truthfully. And Branwell made sure to know if any of us was burning. Minister could have learned that. Who knows? Minister might have discovered who did little coke. All right? Because you take it from me, I'm 60. I am 60. And I want an example to be set. That's what's going on.
Okay, so he's checked himself in.
Who?
I'm following
Don't call
you.
nobody name on this show.
I don't know.
All right?
I don't know.
I
What
just
you're
wanna-
saying?
huh?
What? There's rumors or what? Is there any evidence? Any
How many
facts?
there's evidence?
Somebody has checked into
We're
some
getting
rehab?
reports that a member of parliament had to check himself in. All right?
Okay.
And there are many of us who have certain emotional challenges which can cause, right?
Is that opposition or
government?
governing party? Yeah.
The most I'm prepared to say is it's a parliamentarian. Okay?
All right.
And so,
All right. So
what is lacking is that we need to introduce legislation where members of parliament
Okay.
do little drug tests.
Okay.
Right? And we must call on them. If you all are tooting, members of parliament, you have to set an example. I don't believe anybody is tooting. But if you're tooting, you must stop. It's not a good example. And you shouldn't drink strong alcohol. You know?
Well, I don't know if that's a part of the qualifications to become a member of
You
parliament.
don't want the member of parliament to be pissy drunk.
Well, I don't know if
right?
you drink alcohol, if that would disqualify you. I don't know if that's the case.
I'm not suggesting it would disqualify you, but you want to set example.
Because a lot of people do social drinking, Mr. Moncur.
My brother, you wanted,
It's a
when
reality.
you hold elected office, certainly you have a duty, my spiritual advisor, right, to set an example.
Absolutely. I agree
Right?
with that. Yeah.
In the punch. The punch, let me read what the punch say. You see? The punch don't fool me.
That story is coming from the Punch?
No, it's coming from more than the punch. The punch is the F&M. You remember what I told you? When you see an
boy.
article in
I don't
here,
know how credible the Punch is.
the
Mr. Moncur,
punch
so
is very credible.
I wouldn't follow that story.
It's very credible in this regard. The punch got it. Let me see what the punch say. I don't see the story no more, but it's somewhere here in the punch. And the punch normally speak with the prime minister. You didn't know that?
Mr.
Take it from
Moncur,
me.
I have no information on that.
Take it from me, okay? But it's right here in the punch. I don't know if it's in the grapevine or so forth,
Let me
but
see
it's in
that.
the punch.
Let me see
And I
that.
want them to stop it, okay? Come on. Y'all want to be in the House of Assembly. You can't be in the House of Assembly and on drugs. You have to set example. What you say, my spiritual advisor?
I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, even the Bible teaches us that if a man desires the office of a bishop, that he cannot be a drunkard.
That is true.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how it is. I don't know if it is for parliamentarians, but I know in the church, if you want to qualify for bishop, you cannot be a drunkard. Not that you cannot drink, but it says you cannot be given too much wine. That's one of the qualifications. So,
Well, I don't know if this wine they're drinking. Right?
drinking strong drink.
But all I know, whatever they're doing is sinful.
Yeah.
For the residents of Nassau Village, this is the last time I'm going to give y'all the speaker number. Okay? Y'all don't bother with me no more. Okay? Now this is the speaker number. His number is 3242-948. 3242-948. Call him quickly before the tuna, the sardine, and the corned beef run out. I have to deal with these grassroots issues. You hear what I say, my spiritual advisor?
That is your calling, Mr. Moncur.
Yeah, the
That is
people
your calling.
were very upset. They called the constituency office, and Mrs. Moultrie answered and couldn't give them what they needed. All right? So that's what we're doing.
Okay, I see the story.
You see the story? Read it to me, my spiritual advisor. Let me see.
Now, see, you read this, because the Punch.
You afraid of the punch?
I just don't.
Listen, listen.
I don't trust the Punch, man.
What do you mean you don't trust
So,
the punch? I trust the punch.
That's the story right there.
Which one?
That's the story. Right there.
Officials are tight-lipped on reports that a F&M MP has gone into a rehab clinic
You see that?
in the U.S.
You see what the punch did?
He reportedly checked into the clinic on the orders of a senior F&M MP. The senior MP reportedly told the MP that he must sort out his sickness or face being fired. The MP reportedly has a drink problem. He allegedly has attended meetings of MPs red-eyed and slurring his speech. And police reportedly stopped him one night when his car was weaving all over the road. An admirer of the MP was shocked when he pulled up next to her in traffic and threw a candy wrapper out of his car window. Cleanliness and no littering fall under the MP's portfolio. So the admirer knew there was something seriously wrong. It is hoped that the MP will return from rehab cured of his demon. Well, these are some of the reality of life. And I can understand because my dad drank lots of rum. And as a result of that, I stayed far from the rum. Okay? So, that is what is taking place there.
But
Any
of course,
comment?
no comments on that.
No comment.
The storm was a big issue.
The storm is a big issue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see all over the papers.
Yeah.
Our Southeast Islands are going to have some issues. Do you know if the government has sent a team down to assess damages as yet?
Well, I knew that the government was going, but the breeze was too strong.
Yeah, the breeze lingered for quite a while.
They've changed their minds.
Saturday night into Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Wow.
What?
Wow. The breeze, I'm sure was...
Where did you spend your hurricane?
Actually, I stayed at home.
You stayed at home?
Yeah, because
How was the shorelines? Did the
it was
shorelines
fine.
come up?
It was fine. It's just that, like about maybe at 3 or 4 o'clock yesterday, we noticed certain areas of Marshall Road started to flood. The waters...
Did you call your MP?
There's no need for that because it's a certain portion of that road.
Yeah.
Whenever the sea level rises,
Yes.
it always has an issue. But for the most part, we were fine. Strong winds, maybe 65.
And you had enough
70,
sand.
70 miles an hour. I actually, the building that I live in is built on a high, a few cost blocks higher. So I didn't have to use any sand. But
But sand
the
was
neighbor,
there.
oh yeah, everybody
Well,
was able to get sand.
As
and put it
Marvin
indoors.
Dames was delivering his sons, the murderers were killing.
That has always been an issue. You can see it's even an issue in the United States. With
Stop
looting
telling me about the United States.
All right,
eh?
of course. But I'm just saying,
Stop telling me
I don't know,
about the United
human
States.
behavior is something else, Mr. Monka. Maybe we need to do a show one of these days on human behavior, and way people behave.
My
It's
God,
just-
when the PLP was in power,
it's just interesting.
you blame the PLP.
No, I'm not.
Now the F&M
I'm not
in power,
running away from the crime
you say it's
problem.
human behavior.
What is
I
that?
say it's Marvin. All
Mr.
right?
Monka, that's what it is.
It's Marvin.
You know, why is it that me and you stay away from crime, Mr. Monka?
My spiritual
You
advisor,
don't rob and
the
steal
murders are taking
and,
place.
and murder
The
people.
robbery is taking place.
Yeah.
Did you see how they thief from the Chinese man on the truck with all that
Oh, I
stuff?
saw that. I saw that truck trying to make an east turn onto Robinson Road, and looked like he may have had an issue with his cargo. It may have shifted, and some stuff fell over, some of that nature. What was that anyhow? That they were.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, but they were wrong though. They shouldn't have
Okay.
done that. But of course, you know the area.
Well, I don't know what was going on. While some
It's the
Chinese was
area.
being robbed, others were being accused of robbery in the food store. So I don't know what's going on. All I know that I want the lawlessness to stop. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Listen, when I come back, I'm going to open up the phones early because I want to know if you have heard from your member of parliament. And when I return, I will tell you of an MP who shacked out in the Church of God of Prophecy, the Jumper Church, as he brought in the storm with his constituents, according to a Negro source who's close to the Big Jumper Church. So, I don't know. Where did your MP sleep? Did you sleep with your MP?
No, I have to contact him to have a few words with him, but I don't know. He's probably at home, I guess. I'm sure he's slept at home.
But when I come back, we look at an MP who it is alleged slept in the church.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm joined by my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, who did not sought refuge, stayed right there on the shorelines.
Yeah, we don't have any issues.
The Prime Minister is saying that he's going to move to have mandatory legislation for evacuation.
Yeah.
How
That's a
are
good
your
move.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good move because, you know, the thing is that there are some people who really don't understand. Maybe they do. How important it is to move away from these areas that are going to be hit hard by hurricane. You know, it's always best to preserve life because things are always secondary. You can always find a way to get material things back, but life preservation is first and foremost. So I would agree if the Prime Minister does move.
I'm 60.
If the Prime Minister does move ahead.
And if the government says that I ought to move out of Bain Town, and at 60, I do not want to leave, should the government compel a 60-year-old man who is mentally sound to leave, to go to a church where there's already 200 to 300 people with only 2 toilets? What is going to happen when I demand or someone else demand usage of the toilet and somebody already there, and the next one is clogged up? Should I be subjected to that? Or should I have the right to say to the government, government, I thank you for telling me I should leave, but I really don't want to go there because to begin with, it's only 2 toilets and it's 300 people. Please leave me in my little shack where I can maintain the necessary dignity as it applies to my personal hygiene.
Even if it's life-threatening?
Even if it's life-threatening.
So which poison do you prefer to pick?
Do you understand the argument I'm advancing?
If
a man is of sober mind, and he says to the authorities, I thank you for letting me, but I do not wish to leave. Should the government compel me? I don't want to identify the nasty, dirty place. Should the government compel me to go there? Or should I be allowed, having been told, to remain where I am, where I think there is proper toilet facilities?
Yeah. See, the only problem with that, Mr. Mann, because I don't know if the government is using that scenario to advance the mandatory evacuation orders, you see? They are looking at the danger that one would put themselves in if they decide to stay at a Category 5 hurricane that is aimed directly at the area. That's the argument I think the government is advancing.
But I want the government to look at the full picture.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I have always refused to go to a shelter is normally, once I would have heard where the shelters are, I choose one and go there and do inspection. And then when I look that there's only 1 toilet or 2 with hundreds of people, I then look at the indignity that I would suffer. Because if I went there, I would not have the kind of access to proper toilet facilities, which becomes an essential ingredient in the height of a storm.
I understand that.
I'm just raising the point.
I mean, there are a lot of questions.
Now, if I'm crazy, the government should drag me out. But if I say to the authorities, listen, I won't go there, I think the government should leave me alone. That's what I think. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, Mr. Monker.
My love, how are you?
I'm good.
What's on your mind?
Well, the first thing I want to say is tell your spiritual advisor the Lord will provide.
Absolutely.
He can call a spade a spade. Okay?
Yes.
These fellas that we have in charge now are lost.
Wow.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
You know, like you said, if it was the PLP, he would have been all over them.
Who's the he?
Your spiritual advisor.
You mean Bradley Roll?
Bradley Roll. But, okay, when you spoke about Halson Mutri and those people reaching out to him for help.
My God.
And not being able to get help, something's wrong.
I agree.
You are so right. When Dion Smith was there, he provided for those people.
Wow.
And it is, you know, they're all about with their 6 buckets of sand. Tell people come get sandbags. People can't eat sand. Children can't eat sand.
Listen, you are so right.
Yes, it's time for them to get their act together, Mr. Munker.
Pray for the speaker and madam.
And pray for Marvin Deems. Tell him he should be happy that Irma did try to show herself up so that people, it will be a distraction from the crime, but the crime is out of hand.
I thank you, my dear. I got some more people on the phone.
Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monken, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon.
How are you both?
We're doing great.
I'm so happy that you're safe and God has spared our country once again.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I just want to touch on a few things that really bothers me, and I hope people don't take it in the wrong light. But, you know, I am sick and tired of people saying, God continues to spare us, we are a Christian nation, and all this sort of thing. I wonder, and I asked someone yesterday, do we think that other countries don't have people who are praying people? You know, the way how some people carry on in this country is if we are untouchable. And then I heard some people telling me how some persons were carrying on about the fact that the storm didn't come. They were annoyed that they'd spent money buying supplies and, you know, all this sort of foolishness. We are some of the most ungrateful people in the world.
Wow.
And we have so much to be thankful for.
Yes.
Instead of us saying that we are thankful that the storm spared us, they upset that they were not able to use...
I had that complaint as well.
You know, we complain so much. You know, like I say, one of these times, like I said, to me, Matthew was just a dress rehearsal for us. You know, but we really need to stop this foolishness where we can continue to complain. You know, but on another matter, gentlemen, last Wednesday night, I had an unfortunate accident, and I had to go to the hospital by ambulance.
Uh-huh.
And I was so impressed with the professional service rendered by members of the EMS team from PMH. And I got their names, and I told them that I wanted to ask you to please say a special shout-out to them. Joel Lightborn, Ricardo Butler, and Donisha Curry.
Let's do it.
And then when I went to A&E, a nursing sister Sonia Miller, she was so good. And then a gentleman, he said he is known as Mr. Rambo, Anthony McKinney, who was the person who took me to X-ray. And I must say, the people who work in A&E, Mr. Monk and Mr. Rose, they need special medals because the type of people who come in there and the attitude of some of the people, you know, when they told them you can't use your phones in the back here, and the way how some of them carried on, they need special awards for the staff there at A&E. So I just want to commend them, and both of you continue to do the good job that you're doing and keep our country safe.
Don't leave yet, though. I want you to call their names out one more time.
Joel Lightborn, Ricardo Butler, and Donisha Curry. They were the EMS staff who came to get me in the ambulance. Then was Sister Sonia Miller at A&E, and Mr. Anthony McKinney, known as Mr. Rambo, who was the attendant who took me to the X-ray department.
This is powerful.
Absolutely.
We thank them.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Monka.
Hey, sir.
Yeah, I want to agree with the lady to thank all them people who work in accident and emergency. I don't have no names to call or nothing like that.
When last you hear from your MP?
Hello?
When last you hear from your MP?
I can tell you right now, but my sister-in-law that got shot the other day was going to the ATM or the deposit thing for McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I just want to thank the accident emergency and all the doctors who work up there.
Okay.
She's still alive. I mean, everyone don't get saved, but for all the people who they save, even the set who they try to help and couldn't help, but, you know, I want to just say thank God for them, and I hope the government could not just pay them money, but just show them respect, and us Bahamian people could appreciate them the way we need to.
That is true.
My MP, Mr. Harrison Mutri from Nassau, the one who you was talking about a while ago.
Yes.
I didn't vote for him. I voted for Dion Smith and the PLP. I really voted for Perry Christie, but my point is just a blind man pauper.
Okay.
What I understand with Mr. Mutri, what his wife was doing, and she's a Christian lady, Mr. Monka. She normally have like twice a week, like a prayer meeting in the area. It's not really a church. Mr. Mutri let all of us know that he's not able to like supply like all our needs. So he started off with this cooperative thing where
did he
we
give
could
out
come
any
together.
little toner?
Say that again?
What about little toner?
Yeah, I can let you know about the toner now.
Well, you better, because I got plenty of people in the line.
Yeah,
so
what happened, I can let you go right now. But what happened with the toner and the sardine, maybe some people who needed right then, he wasn't there able to do it. But before the hurricane,
what you mean he wasn't
like
able to do it?
Yard,
He's
Mr.
the
Monkey,
Speaker of the House.
Say what?
This is a poor man, you know. This is the Speaker of
but
the Honorable House
supply all our
Assembly.
needs.
Man,
he can't
stop it.
supply all our needs. Before the hurricane, places like City Lumber Yard, he was getting like lumbers and material to help out with people who was hurting from Machu time. He was helping with that. So he might have fallen down a little bit with the sardine and told him, Mr. Monka, and if he could just allow people like Pauper and others who mightn't support him to be around, who understand what the people really need and what really need to be done, then I think he could be more better. But I ain't gonna mash him up to the ground like that.
Anyway,
he might be wealthy and all that, like what you say. He might have fallen down with the sardine. But I thank God for a person like him in this kind of time to help the people before the hurricane who was waiting for Machu time. And thank God for his wife who having a prayer meeting every 2 weeks, spiritual advisor.
When is the next prayer meeting?
Y'all keep up the good work.
Yes,
when is the next prayer meeting?
He's gone.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
I agree with Papa though. I agree with him. You don't mash the fella up.
Anything my party do, you agree with.
That, I mean,
they're wrong. Hello?
Hello?
What's happening?
What's going on, Mr. Bunker?
Listen, what's on your mind? When last you see your MP?
Well, I saw him from last week, Wednesday. I'm calling from Rockcrusher.
Okay.
Who's your MP?
That's Marvin Dance.
Mr. Shenandoah Conrad. I just want to take the time out. Some people might be scared, but I'm going to tell you the honest truth. From Thursday or Wednesday, I must say, I have to applaud him. He had the young fellas, not the old people. He had them on the truck with the sign, the plywood, and he was host to host, not just F&M. He was host to every single. I wouldn't say he catch everyone, because you know some
what
people.
Was he giving out house to house?
Than the government could give out.
What was he doing
but
house
like
to house?
Hello?
Hello? What was he doing house to house?
Partnering up, sign bikes. If you didn't have nothing much in the house, he would have read.
Listen,
say,
when you can see him
let's
again?
go get to see him.
When are you going to see him again?
Whatever you talk
Goodness
about.
me. Listen to me a second. When will you see the MP again?
He shows his face every week.
Well, when you see him, tell him he didn't give me no son, so bring my son. And you take good care. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. If the MP is giving away son, I'd like to have my share.
Yeah,
Hello?
You need to go and get your son.
Yes.
I have two issues.
Go ahead.
Ask the spiritual advisor. I read in the newspaper, one newspaper said that God had nothing to do with this storm. That the Bahamas was just lucky. Ask the spiritual advisor what his views on that.
You heard that spiritual advisor in the Nassau Guardian in their editorial. A suspicious person, I suspect, wrote that. And they're saying it ain't had nothing to do with God saving us.
God has something to do with everything. You know, I mean, we were in that cone, and the European models had the storm shifting somewhat southwest, and it did. And we were spared. I mean, we got to give God thanks for that, you know. But on the other hand,
okay, my brother.
There were
Rodney,
who suffered
one other
loss.
thing now.
Go ahead.
I went to your march with my bucket.
Yes, we're going to have another march.
Right. I saw now where the powerful people will now inspect that prison.
Really?
They understand now what that bucket is all about. And my MP,
Who's
Mr.
your MP?
Wells, I haven't seen him.
Who's your MP?
Raymond Wells.
Raymond Wells? There's a Raymond Wells who got elected? What constituency?
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Raymond Wells? I even don't know who's... No, Kennedy. Who's the MP for Kennedy? You said it's Raymond Wells?
Is that Raymond Roll?
I even don't know who got elected in Kennedy. Anyway, take good care.
Thank you.
Do I have another caller? Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hi.
Hello.
Mr. Monker.
Yes.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Listen, I'm angry because Halston Moultrie and Mother Moultrie refused to get a woman with that special child any little sardine and corned beef. And the woman complained to me until the storm passed it.
Oh, Lord, that's sad.
And
very
this morning,
sad.
they tell her to go to social service. And when she got to social service say ain't nothing they could do for her.
Oh, Lord.
And I suspect she is one of them who didn't know Halston and voted F&M.
Right.
My God.
Well, I want to say, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good.
Oh, hallelujah.
And his mercies endure forever.
Yeah.
I want to thank God for bringing us safely through the storm.
Yes.
You know, some of our family islands were damaged, and I sympathize with those. But here in Nassau, we are blessed, and we ought to be giving God thanks and praise.
That is true.
When I look at the social media sometime and our Bahamian people running on, talking all kind of foolishness, but they bought their tuna, they don't eat tuna, and the storm didn't come. Some of our people are just too illiterate.
Yeah.
Rather than them getting on their faces and giving God thanks and praise, they are complaining. They complain too much.
Wow.
But you do well, you and your spiritual advisor. I'm looking at you all dressed so nicely. Do well and continue to do the best that you can for our country.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless you.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you.
Well, I took refuge by...
Yeah, where did you go? Because I haven't heard from you all weekend.
Well, I was going to stay in my office, and Brother Jacks, he came for me.
Okay.
Right?
What a friend, eh?
And I played...
Genuine friend.
I played like I didn't want to go. You follow?
Yeah.
And he said to me, why don't you stop playing like you don't want to go? I said, okay, Dad. And when I got there, I don't know what he was doing. He had like 4 sets of meal prepared. So I said, Jax, this hurricane can be here for a weekend. I'm serious with that. I mean, it was amazing.
Okay.
All right? There was turkey. And it was only me and him.
Wow.
Right?
Did you all invite some people from...
No, I called some of the brothers in.
Yeah.
Right?
People eat.
But I had like 4 sets of meat. And then afterwards, I said, listen, I thought for hurricane you have salad. So he said, well, we'll make some of that as well.
Wow.
Yeah. It was powerful. And if I can say it, I had a great time. Right?
That's good. That's
waiting for the storm.
I wasn't too far. You should have called me and I could have joined you.
I thought you were on Paradise Island. Right? But Reese Chipman, I understand that he took refuge at the Church of God of Prophecy. But I want to warn Reese. Reese, if you did, that's a wonderful thing. But if I had known that you were taking refuge there, I'd have had them serve you the summons there. All right?
What summons?
Don't you know one of the constituents has sued him?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey,
hello.
Rodney, how you doing?
Right here, man.
Yeah, Rodney, 3 things. I'm not able to get Facebook anymore.
Okay.
I don't know why you're not on Facebook, at least for me.
Okay.
I don't know why I get on Facebook, but I also
I
want
am
to
watching me on Facebook now. Go to iltvstudios.com and they're streaming the show live.
I tried that. I don't know. I probably doing it wrong.
Maybe you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, Rodney, I want to send a request out to 2 lovely ladies.
Okay.
Eva Wells.
Eva Wells.
And Maisie Brathwaite.
And Maisie Brathwaite.
And the greatest nurse on earth, Miss Monroe.
Miss Monroe, the greatest. Okay, well, you've done it. What island are you on?
Freeport, Rodney.
How was Freeport?
This is Wells.
How was Freeport? Was it seriously devastated?
Man, Freeport had 6 tornadoes, a lot of wind last night. The
6
power
tornadoes?
is still off majorly.
Wow. The lights are still off?
The lights are still off, but the water is up and running. They have the water on.
Okay. What
So
constituency
that's
do
a
you
good
live
thing.
in?
Pardon me?
Who is your MP?
My MP is, I guess, I don't know who he is.
You don't
I
know
didn't
who's the
vote
member
for
of
him, so I
parliament?
don't know who he is.
Goodness of mercy. You better find out because we got 5 F&M. They got the whole of Grand Bahama.
Yeah,
So I
I
expect
vote
that
for
Grand
them, though, so
Bahama
I
should
don't keep
rebound
check like that.
immediately. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You take good care. And I
But
wish
y'all have
you-
a great day, Mr. Munker, and I'm glad
caller.
y'all was safe.
Caller, let me ask a question before you go. Did
Yeah,
y'all
go ahead.
Did y'all
Rodney.
get any warning at all about any?
Pardon me?
Did y'all get any warning at all about tornadic activities going on?
Of course, warnings were sent out by ZNS.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if
Because,
they were
some
listening, warnings were sent out by ZNS, and they were tracking it very, very, very good. So we know it was coming. We know how strong the event was going to be and everything.
Okay. Because some
The
people.
only thing surprised us is the tornadoes.
Yes, some information.
Why would the tornado be a surprise to you if ZNS told you it was coming?
No, ZNS said there would be tornado activity,
Right.
but you can't tell where tornadoes are going to land. Only we
Right.
can tell where the hurricane is coming.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
But one more question. Ain't nobody saying nothing about how the water disappeared in Andros and Long Island.
Listen, the water come back.
It came back, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, nobody said it when it happened. I
There's
mean,
some
that was strange to me.
Yeah. The water and sewage man, Adrian Gibson, he was talking about it.
Oh.
Right. They have all kind of scientific reason as to why it happened. All right. But have no fear, the water has returned.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you say ILTVstudios.com.
.com. Yes.
I'll give it a try right now.
Or
Mr.
go to
Munker.
my
Thank you.
Facebook page. I'm sharing it. You'll be able to see it. Okay?
Okay, when you say you shared it, what do I look for when I reach on
You
that?
go to Rodney Monker, and then you should see the streaming taking place because I'm
Go to
sharing.
Rodney Munker.
Yeah, my
Very
Facebook
good.
page because I'm sharing ILTV Studio Facebook page.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay? Take good care.
You too, sir. God
Do I
save
have
you.
anybody else on the phone? My spirit?
Well, something is happening that's conflicting because
What?
a lot of people are saying that, especially in Freeport, that they didn't know of any tornadoes. that
Some
were
people did not know. Don't forget
And
now.
was that because they didn't listen to the news, or was
Many
that because
people
the
on the island has no electricity.
Okay.
Okay?
Excuse me.
And there are many people, because of the economic hard time, can't afford radio. That's a reality.
Okay. So them not knowing is not because of a lack of sadness not doing their job. That's not the case.
It
right?
is because of a lack of economic stimulation, the creation of jobs, where people
do
can
you
make
understand
money.
my point, though?
I understand your point.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
because once the media department and ZNS did warn Freeport and all of Grand Bahama that there was going to be tornadoes, then that's fine. They would have
Yes,
understood that
but
tornadoes
if
was coming.
there is nothing economically happening so people can make money, right? Don't forget now the FNM has been in power over 100 days. Over 100 days. And the Minister of Finance from the island of Grand Bahama, they've not stimulated the economy. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, Mr. Manka.
Hey,
How you doing?
did you come through the hurricane?
Yeah,
You came through the hurricane, right? What's on your mind?
you see now, Mr. Manka, you see now what kind of government and prime minister we have.
What kind do we have?
You see what he did to those Aucklands and Nagua people?
Similar to what Christie did. Christie brought in the students from Jamaica. So Minister did national
but you don't have to
evacuation,
bring in those
and
couple of-
Christie
that
did
don't make no sense.
international evacuation. Same thing.
Huh?
Same thing.
But I mean, Mr. Manka, why should you spend that kind of money on 3 or 4 people? That you know other countries do that.
How you mean? What time is it?
The time is the people's time.
What time is it?
People's time.
Well, tell Minister spend millions.
Oh, well, he's spending it. You see what he putting the money to use.
Well, let's see how many jobs are created.
I mean, you use a man. You sat down and you could see what he did during the hurricane. So that's a good sign of a good prime minister.
I'm happy that he did it, but let us not forget it was Perry Christie, and before Christie, Pinling, who evacuated students out of the Caribbean and brought them safely home. Menace, national evacuation, Christie, international. This is Freedom March. It's evacuation time. I'll be right back.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here, and we are about to read some text. Bradley, let me start off by reading the first one.
Right, and I'll follow.
Why the atheists at the Nassau Guardian attacking Christians over prayer? And Pastor Mario and Lyle and Minister K says nothing. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. You read the next one.
Next one. Good afternoon, Senator and spiritual advisor. Mr. Monka, how's your wife doing? I pray all is well with her.
My wife has improved tremendously. I thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka and spiritual advisor. Please start this show with a prayer of thankfulness. We must learn to put God first.
Absolutely.
I quite agree with you, and I thank you for that. Man, Jeff Lloyd ain't signed the contract yet for school grounds cleaning. Yet, man, what are they doing? Man, pussyfooting around. Goodness of mercy. Wow. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. Read the next text.
Hello, Mr. Monica. Can you please tell us what really happened to... No.
Monica, we had 2 murders in the hurricane by grab. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Hi, Mr. Monica. What do I report? Who do I report? Extra value. Apparently, they want my daughter and all the employees to work until after 10 p.m. tonight. If the winds pick up, I won't be able to pick her up from work.
Wow.
That was a hurricane issue.
Okay. The commissioner was at a 4 p.m. wedding last week, Thursday, at the Hilton. Which commissioner are you talking about? Are you talking about Greenslade? Because I am in search of Greenslade, because Greenslade is a Monker. And I'm going to say to him, listen, what the F&M is doing to you is unlawful. Resist them. You're a Monker, and we've never been cowards. Resist them. All right? The F&M have no right to treat you like this. And I say to resist them, because the law is on your side. All right? They ain't got no right. Who the heck they think they are? Edison Greenslade is a Monker. And I don't like what y'all are doing. Greenslade don't go nowhere because the Constitution protect you. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monker, good afternoon. I'm your advisor and legal counsel. Mr. Monker, can a supervisor or manager of a government change the work from Monday to Friday to Tuesday or Saturday to prevent workers from getting overtime? Is that legal?
Well, look, they can change the time, okay? As long as they comply with the law, they can change the time. It's wicked. It doesn't cater to good will on the job, but they can do it. And listen, in these rough times, don't put up no argument. Work hard, because they only want to get rid of workers, okay? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monker. Do you mind if some people or some talk show hosts steal the same words you use, such as God, save the Queen, among some other words as well?
I have no problem as long as they are respectful when they say God save the Queen, because I really want God to save the Queen. Go ahead.
It's another hurricane text. They wanted to know if you would cover the hurricane. Good afternoon, Mr. Monker and spiritual advisor. This message is for the spiritual advisor. Why do you challenge Mr. Monker when you sit by him every day? I know he's done his research. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Andres, oh, my Andres. Go ahead.
The managers and foremen at BPL who stole by reason of employment should be fired. This company is already running poorly, and these people are stealing, Mr. Munker.
Talking about BPL, a Negro lady in the Bainstown and Grantstown constituency has asked me to put a proposition to the government on her behalf, and I shall do it. She said, Monica, the hurricane was coming, so the little electricity money I had to buy my little tuna, my little sardine, my little corned beef, my little grits for maturing them. And she wants the government to give BPL an instruction to give the inner city 1 month grace period before they pay the light. Because the little light money, they had to buy little things. And you know, anybody saw Travis. All that killing taking place on South Street. Nobody see Travis. Nobody see Travis. And I believe if Travis was to go and talk to the bad men, they make change. Go ahead.
Mr. Munker, I have to be careful I read some of these texts, okay? Mr. Munker, do you know Irma Battle? Do you know what she has to do with the McDonald's restaurant?
Yeah, she owns it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Munker, do you believe she know what is going on with the situation with the young lady who was shot at McDonald's the other night?
I have to presume because it was in the newspaper and it was McDonald's money that was being taken to the bank. So she has to know. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, she have quite a bit of questions. I'll let you look. Good evening, Mr. Munker. You have now added a woman to your list. Her name is Irma from the F&M. Candia and Joan is hunting for you.
Who's hunting for me?
So Candia and Joan.
Who Joan?
Dame Joan.
They're hunting for me? Listen, Candia Dames is no match for me. She was born on the 9th of September. Her birthday was 2 days ago. Candia is now 41. 41 years old. It is my hope and prayer that Candia will repent, because Candia and Warren McCartney has done me a great injustice. And I saw Wayne Monroe, and I said, Wayne, my God, look what they did to me. When we going to court? All right? Said it to him. Then I said to Wayne again, I said, Wayne, minister name the commissioners on the Public Disclosure Commission, and they wouldn't answer me. When we going to court? I said, I won't go to court because I need justice. I need to let their lordship know how Menace wrote me a whole letter and how F&M is saying that his signature was fraud. So I have to ask the court, do you believe that this signature is the Prime Minister's signature? Because Menace is trying to lock me up. That's why I hide every weekend. I hide because Menace know I disclose. Notwithstanding the fact that I disclose, Menace write me letter unlawfully. And I won't go to court to clear my name. You got to clear my name, man. Next thing you know, Menace put handcuff on me. And they'd have me hopping like Shane Gibson. And have me like the man. What's the name of the man who used to be your MP?
Oh, that's Kenry Dossett.
Kenry Dossett. Now Wayne Monroe is frustrated because Wayne Monroe, I saw him. He had time to talk to me. I said, why you can't talk to me? He said, man, I'm digging up in the law because I don't need no jury. The jury them can be biased. And it's true. I went to Arwakid shortly after they charged Ken Dossett and a couple of F&M taxi driver. They said to me, what you doing there? So I said, I went to give a little support. They said, man, he guilty. And Monica, you need to stop it. So I said, no, you can't say he guilty because they ain't present no evidence yet. And listen to me. When I listen to them F&M taxi driver, Wayne better find a law because justice will be stopped in her most vital parts. So Wayne is busy just citing the law because ministers, they just damage and muddy the jury pool. All right? So I won't go to court. Monroe, won't go to court, man. Carry the Prime Minister to court. Go ahead.
Good day, spiritual advisor. Please ask Mr. Munker if he really believes in God. As a Catholic, he has too much bitterness in his heart. It is obvious that Calmer's sermons has not reached him because Mr. Munker is not touched by any of those sermons. He is too bitter as a Catholic.
If I'm bitter, that might be because I drink tea without sugar. That might be why it appears that I'm bitter. If I am bitter, that's because when I drink tea, there's no sugar in it, no honey. But take it from me, I'm not bitter. Honestly, I'm not bitter. I'm a man, I can forgive 77 times 7.
70 times 7.
70 times 7.
Yeah.
Right?
In a day? That's 490 times.
Once you say you're sorry. Okay. You say you're sorry, then I forgive you.
Okay.
All right? Now, I may forgive, but I ain't going to forget. All right? I ain't bitter.
Well, Mr. Munker,
yeah?
When you forgive somebody, you understand what happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't hold that against the person.
I don't hold that. There is no citizen who can say.
You can't erase it from your memory bank. I understand that.
There's no citizen who can put on me that I hate them. That is not true. There's only one man who constantly nagged me, and that is Marvin Daddy. Every time I see him, I got to say to him, listen,
leave his children alone.
I don't hate Marvin. I love Marvin. And I love Candy. Candy. I said, now, I don't believe Candy is safe. I don't believe that Candy is safe, but I don't hate her. And it's true. I don't hate her. Don't mind I'm suing her. I'm suing her because she has damaged my name and won. So I got to sue them.
Mr. Monica, the commissioner's not lost. He was last seen at the fish fry having conch salad on that same Saturday when you was marching.
Well, if you see the commissioner at any conch stall, take his photograph because I'm suspicious that that might not be the commissioner. Okay? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker. The boat that sank near Crooked Island, Aucklands, and that had 38 American and Romanian on the vessel. The vessel's name is El Faro.
El Faro, that's the name.
It was on its way to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Right.
Hi, Mr. Munker. The food stores gone up on their price. Well,
yeah, we're going to prosecute them. Y'all are wrong. You don't do that. When there's a storm, you take care of the people. You take care of your customer. And if you're faithful and loyal to your customer, they'll never forget you. But you don't rob the customer. Other than that, you are just like a gangster without a gun. You don't do that. All right? Go ahead, my spiritual
Mr. Munker, the police bank escorts are handled and assigned by the Police Staff Association and has a fee attached to it, and it's not a normal police duty.
That is not true. That is not true.
That's not true? I thought that's what it was.
Listen to me.
Okay.
If I suspect that when I get to the bank, I am going to be robbed.
Okay.
I call the police and say, listen, I'm on my way to the bank, and I believe there's a gangster waiting to rob me. What the police can say to me, you got to hire me?
No.
Huh?
No.
Is that what the police going to say to me?
He would assist you.
Don't cause me to rebuke Papa.
He would assist you.
Huh? The police are supposed to assist me. Don't tell me no nonsense. The police are supposed to assess. All right, go ahead.
Here we go. We got 209.
Just read text.
Okay.
We spend all the rest of the time on reading text. Read text. Just nothing criminal and unsafe.
Good day, Senator. I am one of the women there. I just wanted to see. I want you to see this portable fan that was being sold during the hurricane for $20. This is the Chinese store opposite Hardin Food Store on Wolf Road. I love you and have a good day.
Okay.
Does she want to buy it for you? You think? Hey, Mr. Munker, how long does it take to get your confirmation letter of a government job? Do you know?
Well, it all depends on whether or not it's the people's time. Don't forget now, who is in charge of this thing? Brensel Road. What you may have to do is to complain to Papa. All right? If Brensel ain't doing it, you complain to Papa. Papa will get Brensel to do it. Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, did you tell the people to vote PLP?
I told the people that if they could not vote PLP, they should come with me on the beach. All right?
Oh,
now,
okay.
the woman gone and wrote for Halston Moultrie. And Halston ain't prepared to give little sardine. And Halston is a millionaire. All right? My God, I don't know how he could say he's safe. Huh?
Mr. Monica, Dr. Menace did a very good thing in evacuating people.
That is true. He did a wonderful thing, but it is not unprecedented. Menace did national evacuation, and Prime Minister Perry Christie did international evacuation. You see? I just want PLPs to know, because I was very disturbed when a PLPs heard it and didn't recognize that Christie did it. Christie has always been innovative, you know. Watch all of the social policies that the F&M is maintaining and has promised to sustain. They were started by Penling or Christie. That's a fact. Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, do you know what is going on in Super Value?
Now, be careful now, because Rupert Robert is my friend. And I don't want nobody to badmouth Rupert. If you all know Rupert them did something wrong, you tell me, because Rupert is a saved white man. All right? You just tell me, and I'll go see him. And he will correct it. Nobody is to badmouth Rupert Roberts on my show. He's off limit. Because when the Negroes are being murdered, and I see him, he say to me, my God, look how they're killing up all these young people. I said, well, Rupert, let's organize a march. He said, it's a wonderful idea. So I sent for my doctor, Dr. Dwayne Sands. And me, him, and Rupert had the last march. And then I tell Rupert, I can send for Brand. And then Brand joined the march. So don't talk bad about Rupert Roberts. Anything you know Rupert them is doing wrong, you all tell me. And I'll go see Rupert and straighten it. Go ahead.
Blessings from Jehovah, gentlemen. Mr. Monica and your spiritual advisor, help me. I just can't figure it out. If Bahama is built up to building codes, which is Bahamian or Canadian standards, why can't the hotel be a safe haven for us as people or tourists during hurricanes?
That is because Menace did not apply the provisions of the Constitution. He should have declared a state of emergency. Once he declared a state of emergency, all right, don't forget, it was Penland who passed that law. Must have been in 74 or 73 or shortly thereafterward. Declare a state of emergency and send the troops in. As simple as that. But Menace pussyfooted because Carl and them are not revolutionary in their thinking. I have a solution to all problems. All right, go ahead.
Jehovah is great, Mr. Monica.
Jehovah is great.
We are so grateful the hurricane did not
praise the Lord.
do us any harm. Mr. Monica, I like your new watch. Mr. Monica, what do you gentlemen...
This new watch was bought for me by some County Joe people. And when I told them I was going to call their name, they became intimidated. They said, listen, Menace may charge us because we might be accused of bribing you. I said, listen, nobody could bribe me, okay? Just bring gifts. Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, what do you think about the Johnsons that went to Canada? Guess they really want to start a new life. Also, should the government rebuild these islands that only have a few people on it?
Yes.
We need investors to come and build these islands up quick,
Every
fast, and hurry.
person who came from the family islands, I call on the F&M to restore their homes and send them back. And when the next storm is approaching, we'll bring them to Nassau. What the heck we have this money for? Huh? You stimulate the economy. There's a hurricane. I expect thousands of jobs because people need to clean up. Thousands of jobs. What you borrow $722 million for? Just for Peter to look at and count? It's foolishness. Invest the money. Let commerce and employment
Mr. Monica,
be created.
I agree with you. Unless this is a communist country, we have the right to choose. I guess they're talking about the mandatory evacuation.
Of course.
Menace
saying if Menace make me evacuate, that's because he's putting me in a hotel. But he ain't gonna send me to one school where 200 people have to use the same toilet, and when it's time for me to use the toilet, there's a long line. I'm 60, and my prostate may not be as strong as it used to be, right? And then what is going to happen? I'm going to end up selling myself. No, sir. No, sir. Mandatory, but I must have the choice to say no. As simple as that. Go ahead.
Good day, spiritual advisor. I think Mr. Monica is dead wrong for giving out Mr. Moultrie's home number.
Oh, no! Moultrie is the people's man.
His home number, they say.
His home number.
You should give them the office number.
Listen, Moultrie them don't answer.
Or the government-issued number.
The woman them call the office. His wife answered the phone. And she didn't know where they was going to get Tona from. So it's better to call the MP. When Moultrie was campaigning in Nassau Village, where was the wife? Huh? Where was the wife? Moultrie should hold his head in shame, and the wife should buy 130 cases of tuna, corned beef, and sardine and give it to the poor people.
Good evening to you, Mr. Monica, and your spiritual advisor. This is one of the women them all the way in San Salvador.
Oh, my love, how are you?
We are so grateful that the hurricane didn't hit us so hard. And we're
I'm
still
happy.
praying that Jose does not affect us. And we're praying...
Jose? Who's Jose?
But there's another one that's falling the same pattern.
I can't pronounce it. One Negro said it was Josie.
No, it's Jose.
It's Jose. Spell Jose.
J-O-S-E.
No. The name of a person, place, or thing begins with
a capital.
Well, spell Josie.
Jose.
Spell
capital,
Jose.
Capital J-O-S-E.
Right.
The J is silent.
Don't forget. Go ahead.
Jose. Jose will not affect us. We're praying. This is Ursula. God bless you all and be safe.
Ursula, you're a wonderful Negro lady. I yearn to meet you.
Let's see. There's news from the police. It's an urgent message for all for the next few weeks. Oh, has something to do with some Pepsi thing.
Don't give me no advertisements here, okay?
Mr. Monica, I'm serious. I'm the lady you always see in McDonald's who tell you I had a contract and they was holding my last check, but I
didn't pay you yet?
Remember, I live in Chippenham. Short with low hair. Anyway, whenever,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Monica, this is the lady you always see in McDonald's who tell you I had a contract and that they were holding the last check.
Who?
But I got it, she says.
She got it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy that
and
you got it.
I'm happy for your assistance. Anyway, whenever you're hungry, let me know. And
listen, I am hungry for a great march. I want you to march with me because as soon as it is clear, I'm taking to the street. I have to march because there's some things on my mind. Okay? Tomorrow, when we come back, I'm going to look at a statement that was issued by my personal physician, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Dr. Sands, I have to criticize you because I've been somewhere and the F&M say how it looked like only you I like. So to prove to them that I'm not curry favoring with you, I'm going to have to attack you tomorrow. I'm going to have to look at what you say during the storm when you were critical of the people them dropping mama off to the hospital. Okay? I prayed over it, and so that it wouldn't look like I am curry favoring towards you, I'm going to have to criticize you. Because I believe that the hospital belongs to the Bahamian people, and if there's no running water in the house, and there's no light, and the toilets are not working, and since this is the people's time, my doctor, I think we should bring mama to the hospital. And I think the government should buy special cot, C-O-T, and let mama them lay off. That's what I think. Should we abandon mama? Mama done well there for them, Dr. Sands. Okay? Don't be mad with me. I have to criticize you. And when I see you, I have a secret to tell you why I have to criticize you. I can't say it openly because there are certain F&Ms I don't want to hear about it. So, folks, we're coming to an end, and top on my mind is the speaker. My God, all them things God give Halston Moultrie and Mother Kim Smith Moultrie, and they were not prepared to struggle with the poor people. What y'all going to Nassau Village for? Don't you know it's a bunch of poor Negroes living there? Don't you know it? Huh? Don't you know it? You say you want to get elected. You want to represent the people. Now you're not hiding, ducking, and dodging. And I got to put up with the people complaint. And I told them, this whole show will be dedicated to cursing out the speaker. And that's what I'm doing. So my people, them, Mama, I did it, eh? I'm so sad that the speaker is so mean. All right? I'm so sad about that. It is my prayer that things would improve for you and that social services would have more conscience. And that when a woman show up with little children them, you know, do a little something for them, man. It's a hard time. And the F and them, I would do anything now. Moultrie, give me the seat. Let me be the MP. So I can wait for the people. Because you and Mother Kim ain't treat them right. And they're sad. And I'm saddened over it. This is Freedom March. Tomorrow, I'll see y'all if it is God's will. Take it care.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.